And
You haven't.
yes, Harish, start the meeting.
Ma'am, you haven't given me the co-host rights again.
Okay, I'll give you right now. Yes. Harish, start the meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. A very warm welcome to the online joint meeting of Eloquent Elites Toastmasters and Eloquent Elites Gavel Club. Let's all clap and congratulate Eloquent Elites Gavel Club for getting affiliation certificate from Toastmasters International. I am Harish Natarajan, Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. In the online meeting environment, there are a few housekeeping policies that we request everyone to follow. Please rename yourselves as follows. This will help Zoom Master Ved Brillian to spotlight people appropriately. All role players, please look at the chat and rename yourselves as per naming convention. Other Toastmasters, please prefix TM to your name. All Gaveliers, please prefix your name with GAV. Please take 10 seconds for this activity. Please switch off your phones or any noise-making device and remove any other distractions around. Please keep your audio on mute throughout the meeting and unmute whenever you are invited to speak. Please keep your video cameras on as a mark of respect to speakers, just as you would be present in physical meeting so the speaker can see your face. Please remember to switch off your cameras when you need to step away in order to avoid any distractions. Please avoid unnecessary movements or sipping or eating if your videos is on.
Is there any internet issue? I'm not able to hear. Frozen?
Ma'am, I think he lost his network connection.
Probably.
Harish,
Yeah. Just
Harish
wait for a
is lost.
second, otherwise we'll resume. Yeah. Could be a network issue. Okay.
Yeah, he logged out, I think. Maybe we can continue, Girija.
Yeah, I'll continue. Yeah. So I'll continue with the instructions that Harish had to say. Keep your audio on mute throughout the meeting and unmute your microphone just whenever you are invited to speak, please. Please keep your video cameras on as a mark of respect to speakers, just as you would be present in a physical meeting, so the speaker can see your face. Please remember to switch off your video camera when you need to step away in order to avoid distractions. Please avoid unnecessary movements or sipping on drinks or eating. If your video is on, please turn off the video in case you need to do so. You can choose and display from reactions a high five, a namaste, or applause when office bearers are introduced. This is a very important occasion and I request everyone to be positive and appreciative. I pass the baton to the fellow Sergeant at Arms, Gavelier Siddharth Pillai. Over to you, Siddharth.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girija Deshpande. Dear Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and guests, I am Sergeant at Arms Gavelier Siddharth Pillai, Eloquent Elites Gavel Club. I am very happy to represent the mission of Toastmasters. We provide a supportive, positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. It is my proud privilege to introduce the presiding officer of the day, Gavelier Aditya S. Verlekar, President of our Gavel Club. Gavelier Aditya is a RN Podar school student. He has built a PC from scratch on his own during the lockdown. He's a Taekwondo black belt and district and state level swimming champion. We are glad that this multi-faced youth is our leader. The meeting closing will be done by Presiding Toastmaster Dr. Sukanya Iyer. She is an active, committed community service leader, an avid classical music fan, writer, blogger, journalist, and political commentator. Over to you, Presiding Officer, Opening Batsman, Gavelier Aditya Verlekar.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Sergeant at Arms Gavelier Siddharth Pillai. A very warm welcome to fellow Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and dear guests. As presiding officer, I call the meeting to order. Shall we pass the agenda first before we move on with the proceedings?
Yes, please.
VP Education Toastmaster Girija Deshpande, may I know if there are any changes or can we adopt the agenda as it is?
We can adopt the agenda as it is, but we started the meeting 5 minutes late due to we were waiting for Raji. We can proceed.
Okay. I request a fellow Toastmaster or Gavelier to propose and second the motion to pass the agenda.
I second the motion.
I propose
I request
the
somebody to
motion.
propose the motion.
Okay. I thought Girija you proposed. So I propose and somebody can say.
Right. Okay. Anisha, can you second? Anika?
Yes, ma'am. I, Anika Kohli of Eloquent Elites Gavel Club, second the motion to pass the agenda.
Excellent. Wonderful.
The agenda is adopted.
Thank
Welcome to the 52nd meeting of Eloquent Elites Toastmasters Club and the 5th meeting of Eloquent Elites Gavel Club. Congratulations, Gaveliers. We have received affiliation from Toastmasters International. I extend a hearty welcome to special invitee Toastmasters who are performing significant roles as evaluators. We are very honored to have amidst us as General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sudha Wariar, and the Speech Evaluators Toastmaster Phalgunan Kumaran from Mumbai, Toastmaster Yeshwant Tedapalli from Hyderabad, and Distinguished Toastmaster Renosh from Behrain. Toastmasters truly connects the world. We have a member Toastmaster Pranay Goyal from London, Toastmaster Girija Deshpande joining us from Chicago, and a member Toastmaster Vijaya Lakshmi from Texas. I'm very happy to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, our own Nisha Sanjeev. A legal corporate by profession, she has been a Toastmaster for 2 years. She is a mother to 2 young boys. She has varied interests, including reading and listening to music. She is a bibliophile and a mellophile. Both books and music have a strong influence on her emotion and intelligence. It is highly indeed appropriate that Toastmaster Nisha Sanjeev, as Toastmaster of the day, is here to transport us to a world of emotional intelligence. Put your hands together to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Nisha Sanjeev.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Am I audible?
Yes.
You are.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. This is my first meeting here as a member, and I'm very happy to take up this role as a TMoD for today. So a lovely evening today, and today is July 22nd. It is known as the Brain Day. So today, in some way or the other, we are going to be appreciating as well as recognizing the power or the amazing power of our human brain. And that is why the topic for today is let's build IQ, but also EQ as much. So do we even realize, the importance that the human intellect brings to us? It is like the CPU, like the computer, the CPU for the computer, it's like the CPU for our systems. It controls our body, it controls our movements, it controls how we interact, what we think, how we behave. Everything is done by our brain. And the brain actually has 2 very important elements or aspects to it. One is the IQ and the other is the EQ. Now, we all know what is IQ, but can somebody just volunteer and let me know what is your understanding of IQ? Anyone? What do you mean by IQ? We don't have time. We've started 5 minutes late, so we have to be very quick. Any of the ones with very high IQ in this group, please let me know what is IQ.
IQ is a measure of a person's cognitive abilities.
Bang on. So IQ is, we know it is known as intelligence quotient, but it is basically a measure or a score by which you judge or you're able to, measure a person's ability and intelligence. We've been hearing since our childhood that, somebody has a very high IQ, he's very sharp and all of those kind of things. Einstein apparently has the highest IQ and all of these things we keep hearing. So while IQ does measure your intelligence, it's how fast you are in terms of your logical ability and your analytical and all of those things. Do we also realize that EQ, which is the emotional quotient, or it is the emotional intelligence, is as much importance? While we don't hear parents or teachers say that, somebody has a very high EQ, you will always hear someone say that he or she has a very high IQ. But friends, as you go along life, you will realize that having a very high EQ actually makes you or helps you be a lot more successful as you go through the struggles in life. And we'll see how. So EQ, is emotional intelligence, but what really is EQ? It is your ability to manage your emotions, how well you're able to manage yourself, your emotions. It is a lot to do with your self-awareness. It is to do with, empathy. There are many qualities which come under EQ. Some people, it comes very naturally to some people because sometimes it's a part of our nature that we are very empathetic to people. We are inspiring and emotional. All of these come very naturally. Sometimes certain people may be very technical in nature. They may not emote emotions. They may not convey their emotions so well. They may probably have a low EQ on that count. But unlike IQ, which, they say that your IQ is built over the first 5 years or 10 years of your life, and then you just develop. EQ is something which you can develop throughout. As you go through life, you can build your EQ day by day. So if IQ is to do with your brain, EQ is actually to do with your mind and heart. And why I say that EQ is important for success is because imagine like in our daily lives, maybe in our corporate lives, or maybe as student leaders or whatever, we have somebody with very, very high intellect, very high IQ. But if he's a person who is unable to understand the other person, he's unable to manage relationships, he's unable to, manage his own emotions, his own temperaments, then you're not really going to succeed as a leader. So as a leader and as aspiring leaders, all of us are, we have to somewhere try and build EQ into our system day after day. Okay, because that will help us be more sorted, be more balanced in our approach and our outlook. So on this brain day, let us vow to not just build our IQ, but build our EQ as much, because that is what is going to help us sail through struggles in life, take care of ourselves in terms of our relationships, in terms of our temperament, in terms of how we deal with different situations in life. And that's going to make us successful leaders. So on that note, let us all vow to develop our EQ as much. I'll go through the structure of the meeting today. The meeting is structured, it is a 3-tiered structure. One, we will have the prepared speeches session. Second, we will have the table topics session. And third, we will have the evaluators session. Now, I have a barrage of role holders for today who are going to help us sail through this meeting and help us contribute in their own way to the meeting. Now, each of the persons taking up roles and speaking at today's meeting are somewhere building their leadership skills in a very, maybe some small way. And in that quest, they're also building up their EQ. You are seeing, you're listening, you're observing, you are encouraging people, you are understanding. All of these are part and parcel of this whole gamut called emotional quotient. Okay, so with that, let me call upon one such esteemed Toastmaster who has agreed to be the general evaluator for our meeting tonight. I welcome Toastmaster Sudha Wariar. She's a renowned Toastmaster, presently working as executive director for a wealth management firm, mother of 2 kids, a mentor, a life coach, a music and dance lover, and so much more. Thank you, Toastmaster, for joining our meeting. While I welcome you, I also have a small question for you. Now that we are discussing so much about emotional quotient, I just want to understand from you. You know, we always keep hearing that when you take decisions by your brain, you tend to take logical decisions. But when you take decisions with your heart, you tend to take emotional decisions. So within this tussle of head and heart, what is your thought? What do you prefer, and what are your thoughts on that? Over to you, ma'am.
Wow, too many questions, and I'm going to be the first person to break ice on such a wonderful topic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, in putting me in a spot on a table topic like yours. So yes, I mean, if you ask me which is better than the other, I think both are as important in one's journey in life, and also in terms of leadership. I personally think that you should first definitely think with your heart, with your mind, and make sure that you have crossed the T's and dotted the I's, and made sure that you are theoretically perfect in taking that decision. And then you have to top it up with your heart and make sure that you are got the feel that this is the right decision that you're making. So I would probably do a mix of both, but you cannot have just one side completely dominating your decision, if that's what you're trying to ask me.
Thank you for your thought on that. And ma'am, I would request you to please explain your role as well.
Yes, sure. So today good evening, Gaveliers, and the wonderful Toastmasters today, who have given me the opportunity to join you guys this Saturday evening. Today, my role is that of a general evaluator. So I'm more comfortable in the Toastmasters format. So Toastmaster Girija, if I'm tripping on some borders here and there, but correct me. But I think the general evaluator's role here is to make sure that we are conducting the Toastmasters meeting in the prescribed guidelines, which is prescribed for us to conduct it, in terms of the quality, in terms of the timing, in terms of the way you actually start the meeting, as well as greet each speaker who comes onto the podium to conduct the speech. Apart from that, there is a very important role, which is of evaluating the evaluators after they have evaluated the prepared speeches as well. So like they say that evaluation is the breakfast of champions. I'm here to give breakfast to all the champions who have probably taken up the role to come on the stage. Though it's dinner time, it's also breakfast, or maybe preparing for breakfast. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. Now, your grammar is a reflection of your image. That's what they say. So good or bad, you have already made an impression with your grammar. For that, let me invite a person who's going to up our grammar for today. The grammarian for the day is Gavelier Anika Kohli. I would request Gavelier Anika Kohli to explain her role and give us the word for the day. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good morning or evening as per the time zone you're in. As grammarian, the purpose of my role is to introduce a word of the day and make note of members and guests who use the word of the day. All role players and speakers are encouraged to use this word impromptu, listen to many others using it in different contexts, and make it a part of your everyday vocabulary. I will also monitor language and grammar usage and make notes of areas of improvement. I will note down beautiful and powerful expressions used by all speakers. I will present all this in my report when called upon to do so. How does this role benefit you, the audience, and me, the grammarian? The grammarian plays an important role in helping all club members improve their grammar and vocabulary. Without putting any conscious efforts, the language appreciation and expression of members improve just by attending meetings regularly. This role develops my focus, attention, observation, retention, note-taking, and skills of crisp presentation. The word of the day, in line with the theme of the day, is empathy. Empathy is a noun. The word means the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. A sample sentence is, her boss has a total lack of empathy for anybody. She was expected to report to work the third day after her husband had a major surgery. I request every speaker to use the word at least once. I will put this word on the chart also. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. I promise to be empathetic and have a lot of empathy throughout this meeting for all the speakers and all the ones who are contributing to this meeting. Now, pauses are very important in a speech, but too many pauses and too long pauses can spoil the flow of a speech. So let me call upon the R counter, Gavel Ramit R, who will keep a tab on our R's and cuss words. Over to you.
I don't think he's there.
Okay. Can somebody take up the role of the R counter in the absence of Gavel Ramit?
I can take up the role.
Take up the role, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, so for the
So
R counter,
Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, my duty as R counter is to listen attentively to each speaker and make a note of the following used by the speaker: the crutch sounds, filler words, but, so, like, then, well, basically, absolutely, seriously, etc., if they are used out of context. Filler phrases like, you know, you see, I mean, etc. When called upon, I will give a report of these speaking errors. This report will help cure speakers of the annoying habit of vocalized pauses and getting rid of filler words. This role will help me also to become aware of the fillers I use very often. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
thank you, Toastmaster Girija. Now, time is the essence of everything, and hence we have to immensely respect time. Our timer for today is Gavelier Kavya Singh. Toastmaster, Gavelier Kavya Singh, can we have you on the platform?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Today we have two prepared speeches. For all the speech projects, the duration is 5 to 7 minutes. The screen will be showing timekeeper, as you can see here. Once the speech reaches 5 minutes, the screen will change to green and remain green. At 6 minutes, the screen will change to yellow. At 7 minutes, the screen will change to red and will continue until the speaker completes. The speech will not qualify for voting if it is less than 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes 30 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Gavelier. Now we have finished the introduction of all the role players. Now we move on to the first part of the meeting, which is the prepared speeches. Let me call upon the evaluator for the first prepared speech, Toastmaster Phalgunan Kumaran. Mr. Phalgunan is an HR professional with expertise in talent management, organizational development, and change management. He is a Toastmaster since 2009 and a charter member of Mumbai Toastmasters Club. He believes your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift to God. I welcome Toastmaster Phalgunan Kumaran. And I have a very small question for you too. Okay, what would be a simple tip that you would be able to give us to develop one's EQ as a leader?
Listen, but don't react.
Good one, very good one. Thank you. Kindly also explain speech objectives for speaker one.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Nisha, fellow Toastmasters and fellow Gaveliers. The speaker today is presenting the speech from the pathway, Dynamic Leadership, and it's a level 3 speech and a second project. The purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. The purpose of this speech for the member is to demonstrate his understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into a speech. The duration of the timer, please note, is 5 to 7 minutes. And I wish the speaker all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So is speaker one and the timer both ready? Okay. The first speaker for today is Toastmaster Girish Mittal. I will call out the name and the title of the speech. Toastmaster Girish Mittal, perfect your presentation. Perfect your presentation, Toastmaster Girish Mittal. Over to you.
You can share screen.
Yeah, just a moment. I'm just doing that.
No problem. Only when you start, the timer will start the timing.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes. No, your screen is not visible. Not it.
Oops. It is saying would like to
share screen.
No. It's I see MacBook has got a lot of security issues. Just a moment. Okay, is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is visible. Put it in the slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's perfectly visible now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. When I first heard the word artificial intelligence, I was perplexed. I was wondering whether artificial intelligence is an oxymoron. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and guests. Today, I am going to share a little bit insight about artificial intelligence. So this is the overview of my presentation today. First, we will understand what is artificial intelligence. Then we will we'll see what are the types of artificial intelligence technologies, and then we will also understand what are the limits of artificial intelligence today. So what is artificial intelligence? Can anybody volunteer and briefly say what is artificial intelligence? Especially our young minds, the young Gaveliers. Okay, never mind. Artificial intelligence, as the screen says, is a study of computer systems that attempts to model and apply intelligence of human mind into computer softwares. It is a branch of computer science that deals with simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. It's creating a special type of software which simulate the human brain in the computer systems, basically mimicking the human brain by the computer. We all have used artificial intelligence in our day-to-day life now, whether you are using Android, whether you are using iPhone, whether you are using Microsoft products, Google Now, Siri, Cortana are all intelligent digital personal assistants on various platforms. They help us to find useful information when asking for us, just using our voice. Just to demonstrate. Hello Siri, can you play some music? Hello Siri, can you play some music? Hello Siri, can you play some music? I think Siri has gone off to sleep now, so we'll carry on. Talking about history of artificial intelligence, although artificial intelligence is a buzzword today, artificial intelligence started way back more than half a century ago, when English mathematician Alan Turing wrote a landmark paper called Computer Machinery and Intelligence that asked the question, can machines think? Further work came out of 1956 workshop at Dartmouth, sponsored by John McCarthy. In the proposal for that workshop, he coined the phrase, a study of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence has been there for ages now. What are the major artificial intelligence approaches? There are two major approaches, logic and rule-based approach. We have seen, for those who are filing our income tax returns, we have seen getting reminders from income tax regarding some unpaid taxes. You know, they have created a rule and logic-based approach in their systems, which processes our income tax returns. And a machine learning, which is a pattern-based approach. If we all have used Google Translate to translate from various language to the language we are more conversant and comfortable with. So what is logic and rule-based approach? It represents processes or systems which use logical rules. Top-down rules are created for the computers. Giving an example, if for an income tax, in an income tax act, there are so many sections and subsections for classification of various types of income. So what this does is, in the software which is used for processing the income tax returns, they have applied all the rules, and those rules are, and your income tax return is processed accordingly. And now we have seen over last several years, our income tax refunds are processed, sometimes within one day or so, thanks to artificial intelligence-based softwares. Machine learning approach, where the algorithms finds pattern in data and infer rules on their own, learn from data and improve over a time. A model is built, and it is fine-tuned over a period of time. So machine learning is the dominant mode of artificial intelligence being used today. Some of the important uses of machine learning, which we are using in our day-to-day life. We have all heard of Tesla and their famous self-driving vehicles. Netflix, we all have seen the reminders from Netflix based on the content which we have seen in the past. And as I talked about Google Translate, the Google Translate is also a very efficient tool. So what are the main points of machine learning based artificial intelligence? First is learning, where you create a model based on certain patterns, and those patterns are detected over a period of time. The data is generated and the software improves by itself, which becomes a really not artificial intelligence, but really intelligent softwares. An example, which is, we all have seen the filter classification in our email, where we just mark some unwanted emails as spam. So system detects the patterns in email about likely markers of spam. So says some emails which has got a subject line or in the body of the mail which says earn cash, it is likely to be a spam. If the earn cash is detected, the email is directly classified as spam, and several such filters can be generated over a period of time. So the algorithm improves automatically. Sometimes earn cash can be a part of a legitimate email also. So you regularly check your spam folder and classify the emails back as important emails which have been classified by the artificial intelligence model as spam. So the algorithm learns over a period of time which kind of emails to classify as spam and which kind of emails to go through as legitimate emails. Also, for those who are using Gmail regularly, we have seen the classifications such as the various type of classifications in our Gmail, which helps us to classify various kinds of emails which we have. And the most successful ones are artificial intelligence systems which are hybrid, which consists of human intelligence as well as artificial intelligence. I mean, a Tesla car is a classic example of that. So the question now comes is, can artificial intelligence replace humans? I believe since humans have created artificial intelligence, human brain is always going to be supreme, and we are probably, at least in my lifetime, not going to see a day where artificial intelligence has replaced intelligence. There's not much time. I wanted to do a small experiment, but thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toaster Girish. That was a very thought-provoking speech. In the paucity of time, we'll move to the next one immediately. For the second prepared speech, I welcome Toastmaster Yeshwant Tedapalli, who is going to be the evaluator for Speaker 2. Mr. Tedapalli is a finance professional and a passionate Toastmaster. He is a founder member of Dilkushnagar Toastmasters, has served the club as VP Education and President. He strongly feels knowledge is bondage and learning is liberating. Welcome, Toastmaster, to our meeting tonight. I have, as usual, a small question for you two. If you can recall, was there ever an occasion where you had to change your behavior, either at work or at home? And how did you do that?
Thank you so much, first of all, Toastmaster of the day, Nisha, Sanjeev. Thank you so much. Coming about changing the behavior, I would like to highlight one thing. There's a difference between change and transformation. Change is a temporary aspect. Transformation, you transform. It is a permanent. So we should look at transformation and not change. So changes that we make, but then we fall back to our initial behavior skills. So something which I have controlled is probably my anger. So that is one thing I learned to be more happy. So I control my anger. So I'm in that process. So yes, that is something that I have done.
Thank you for that thought. I would request you to also explain objectives for Speaker 2.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi everybody. My speaker, Toastmaster Girija Deshpande, is attempting a speech from level 3 project 1 of the pathway innovative planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a proposal. Timer, please note, timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Are the speaker and timer both ready?
Yes.
Okay, all the very best. Toastmaster Girija Deshpande, the more the merrier. The more the merrier, Toastmaster Girija Deshpande. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Are you all able to see the screen? Yes. So we have all heard this adage, the more, the merrier. With relevance to Toastmasters, I wanted to think about this. What is it that makes it the more the merrier in Toastmasters? Why do we want more people, more members in the club? Who can constitute very effective members? And where can you find them? How do you find them? When we need to start looking at it? These are the things that we look out today. What is it that makes more membership attractive? Imagine a club or a small organization. Whether an organization is small or big, you have to maintain your accounts. You will have customers, you will have to maintain communication with them. Probably if you have a physical office, you will have to maintain that office. If it is a virtual office, still there are timings which you will keep so that the customers can contact you. You have to maintain the quality of your products, keep updating them, innovating them. So all kinds of work need to be done. Imagine a home, only one person or 5 people. You have to still pay your electricity bill. You have to pay your water bill. You have to buy vegetables. You have to buy groceries. You have got to cook. Same thing happens with Toastmasters. You may have 9 members or 90 members, but the Toastmasters format requires that for a meeting to be successful, there will be minimum about 11. If you have 2 speeches and 2 evaluators, there will be minimum 11 role players at a meeting. And then there are people who are working before and after the meeting to make the meeting successful, and the entire membership of the Toastmasters appealing to all the members. So when we have to do that, we need more members because the pressure falls on a few people. That is one. What can be the other reasons why do we want more members? It's not just because you want to reduce pressure, but also because the quality of participation becomes better when members focus on diverse things and one member is not doing 4 or 5 things. That is one. Second is more the merrier because there is variety. People come from different cultures, different nations, different professional backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, different cultural diversity. All this brings so much of different value systems and exposure to all the members and makes the membership valuable. So these are the reasons why we need to increase membership in Toastmasters. So who can be our ideal members? What kind of members will make ideal members? So I would like some of you to speak about it. So if anybody willing to volunteer, please just unmute the mic and speak. What kind of members would you like to have in your club, whether it's Cavalier Club or Toastmasters Club? What kind of members would you like to have in your club?
Members who contribute passionately in the clubs and take the meeting seriously.
Thank you so much, Sambhav. He is a guest and still he has understood and he volunteered to speak. I appreciate it totally. Yes, members who are curious to know what is happening, who are eager to contribute, who are eager to participate. We want those kind of members, ideal members. Yes, I think a general evaluator would like to say something. Yes. Sudhaji.
Yeah, I think we all would love members who are seeking improvement in their lives, especially in the areas of leadership and public speaking and communication. So these are the 3 areas where Toastmasters really fulfills all the objectives, and they will definitely go back very happy.
Absolutely. So we want members who want to increase their, who want to improve themselves and who welcome critique, who welcome, who appreciate when people give them feedback and want to work on it. Yes. So these are the kind of members whom we want. So that answers the question, who? Where do we find such Toastmasters? Why will we find such members? So One is, look at the Gavelier community. I find that they are so eager to enhance themselves. They are at that time when they are blossoming and they want to explore their personality. They are more curious to understand what is happening in the world, and they are willing to adapt themselves. They are flexible, all that is happening. So that is among the Gavelier community. Among the Toastmasters also, I find the young breed of people who have joined, they are willing to contribute more. They want to participate more, either as leaders or as time passes. Sometimes a few of the people think, I know it already. Or sometimes the burdens of life, the responsibilities of life probably are pulling them down. So where do we find them? This is a big question. So where do we find such eager, curious members who are eager to develop themselves? That is a question all of us have to find. Now, it is not a characteristic that shows in people's faces that I'm eager to learn. So when you know a person one-on-one, that is where the referral becomes very strong, because you know this person is eager to improve himself. He's open to feedback. He wants more criticism. He doesn't mind if somebody says, okay, this is where you're faltered and this is where you need to improve. They're looking forward to that kind of inputs. So this is what we will look at. So where can we find them? One is among our own circle of influence, in educational institutions, in organizations. So there is no place where we do not find them. We have to keep our eyes open, our heart open, and open up ourselves and seek people, disseminate information about Toastmasters freely, and ask people, what is Toastmasters and would they like to join? No harm in asking, no shyness in asking, because you are not asking anything for yourself. That is important. So how do we go about it? Freely, merrily, with an open heart, and wherever possible, use the social media, use WhatsApp, use your personal contacts. So that is how we need to contact. So how is not about only the channels which we are using. How is about the attitude with which we go. So when we ask somebody for something, please remember, when you ask somebody to be a Toastmaster, you are doing them a favor by showing them a channel which gives them a very cost-effective and at the same time completely fruitful interaction, possibility for speaking at least 24 times in a year, and more if you are proactive and you participate in other clubs, which training program offers that. So we are doing favor to people by reaching out to them and giving the right information. So go out with a full heart without any fear. When all the time we've got to do it, not just restrict yourself anywhere where there is an opportunity to network, do it. And what is there in it for you or for them? Growth. When the society grows, we ourselves are happy. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girija. That was so engaging and so many valuable insights. Thank you. Request the timer to present the timing for both the speakers.
Toastmaster.
Sorry, you're not audible.
You muted yourself.
Yes. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. You can be louder, but we can hear.
Toastmaster Girish Mittal took 8 minutes 48 seconds. Toastmaster Girija Deshpande took 7 minutes 24 seconds.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so can we have the polls now?
Yes. So I think Girish has extended more than 30 minutes, so we'll not have the polls.
Okay.
More than 30 seconds. Yeah, we'll not have the polls.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here we complete the first part of our meeting tonight. We come to the second part, which is as much a very interesting and exciting part, the table topic session. Now, the table topic session will be conducted by our very own SA, Toastmaster Harish Natarajan. He's also presenting it as a project, which is why I want to welcome his evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. Has Renosh Thomas joined us?
Yes, he has joined. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so Renosh Thomas is a distinguished Toastmaster with more than 20 years of experience in telecom. He is a co-founder of St. Paul's Toastmaster Club and United Toastmaster Club, and also St. Paul's Gavel Club in Behrain. He is a public speaker and successful coach. Toastmaster, very warm welcome to you. I have a very small question for you. Okay, we've been discussing the topic of, because today is Brain Day, we've been discussing about IQ and EQ and how EQ is as much important and we have to develop it and all of those things. So there are many times in life that we fight or we come across demotivation. There are many setbacks. We're not able to fathom them and all those things. So what is your tip for how does one fight demotivation? And is there any instance or incident that you could remember or you would want to share with us?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nisha. It's a table topic for me. I think the timer should time my speech, and I could go on forever and ever on this particular topic, because each and every one of us is uniquely and marvelously made in this world. There's no one that is having each of the palm or the lines on their palm the same. Each of us think differently. Each of us behave differently. So obviously reactions are going to be different as well. There's a saying that goes that a person is successful based on how he reacts to the situation. Right? And that's where not just the IQ, which is your analytical skills and your knowledge and what you have learned, your concentration, your intense focus plays a part, but your EQ plays an important role, where you have empathy, you have self-regulation, self-awareness. Many a times in my 20 plus years of experience, there have been instances where people do not look upon you as a person who they would listen to. They could demotivate you either in your day-to-day life, in your home, in your society, and more to do in your work as well. Now, the question is, you've got 2 years. The challenge is you hear from one, and if it goes directly to your mind and to your heart, it affects. But you have another year. You can open that as well. And the demotivating words can go from one side to the other. Most of the time, we process the demotivation among ourselves and keep it to ourselves. So sometimes we need to make our ears both open and let those negative aspects, negative energy go through and does not stay among us. So that's why it's important also to have IQ plus EQ to make it successful. Over to you.
Thank you so much. That was so motivational for us to hear. And Toastmaster requests you to explain speech objectives of the table topic master today.
Sure. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Day, and good evening to fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and all the guests here. The purpose of the project, which Toastmaster Harish is going to do today, is for him to demonstrate his ability to listen to what others say. He is practicing active listening as a project today. As a table topic master, he should make short, affirming statements after each speaker completes his or her impromptu speech, indicating that he has heard and understood each speaker. The goal of the member, that is goal of Toastmaster Harish, is to clearly show that he listened and can use some of the active listening skills, which is part of his project. His time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm sure he will definitely give not just an abstract, an empathetic feedback as well to each of the speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Renosh. I now hand over this platform to our Toastmaster Harish Natarajan to conduct the table topic session. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the Day, Nisha, Sanjeev. Fellow Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and distinguished guests, greetings of the day. One of the most exciting sessions of the Toastmasters meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. We encourage members who have not taken up any role or guests to participate in the table topic session. The table topics is specifically designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. The session trains members to quickly organize and express their thought in an impromptu setting. This session trains us on strategies to draw from our previous experiences in life and present table topics effectively. Today, as your table topic masters, I will be asking questions related to the theme of the day, emotional intelligence. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, empathy. I request timer Gavelier Kavya Singh to demonstrate the time.
For the table topic speeches, when the speech touches 1 minute, the screen will change to green. When the speech reaches 1 minute and 30 seconds, the screen will turn yellow. And at 2 minutes, the screen turns red. 15 seconds on either side is the grace period. I will put on the Zoom chat the time taken by each table topic speaker. There is a twist in this table topic session. The table topics master's comments will also be timed. He has 1 minute for comment after each speech. After 40 seconds, green, 50 seconds, yellow, and 60 seconds, red will be shown. Over to you, table topics master.
Thank you, Gavelier Kavya. So let's get started. Let me share my screen first. Yeah. So who would like to go first?
You can pick somebody, table topics master. Okay, G has raised her hand.
If no one is going for it, I'll go for it. I may be not allowed by the standards of Toastmasters, but if nobody is going, I'm ready to go for it. I love table topics.
Please. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So general evaluator Sudha Wariar, can you pick any number between 1 to 5?
5, please.
Yeah. So general evaluator, if you notice that one of your colleague is having a bad day, what would you do?
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master. And yes, thank you for the question about taking care of colleagues at workplace or even school or university, wherever we are. I think this is a part of any human nature that we all have in us, but sometimes we forget because of either thinking more with our mind and not emoting with our heart. So I personally think if I had a situation where my colleague was having a bad day, I will make sure that take her into confidence, maybe into a room, talk to her and find out whether, if there is something that I can do to ease her situation, or maybe even give her a feedback. Maybe she doesn't know that she is having some different behavior because of the fact that she's having a bad day, and maybe give her a feedback that this is what is happening. Do you think that you're aware of it? And do you think that we can help you with anything? And probably alleviate her problems and have an empathy towards her particular situation. and see if I can probably get a replacement to the person, or try to give her a break and let her go early if she's not able to manage the situation, and stuff like that. And definitely be more careful about the team or the people around also are empathetic and sensitive about the fact that she is going through a tough patch, and take care of it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Sudha. This was a very good speech. I could relate with the empathy which you have for your colleagues. As you likely said, we have lost our ability to think from our heart and think from our mind, but we still need to think from our heart sometimes when we have problems in our workspace or with some of our colleagues. We would need to give them constructive feedbacks, as you have rightly pointed out, and try to solve their problems, give them some space so that they can overcome all the troubles which they have in their life.
Yeah.
So who would like to go next?
Guest Sambhav Gupta has raised his hand.
Yeah, sure. So Sambhav Gupta, can you pick up a number between 1 to 5, excluding 5?
2.
2. Sorry, I can't hear you. Like, which number did you pick?
2. Number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. So, Sambhav Gupta, how do you handle a colleague who challenges your ideas?
May I start?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, sure.
First of all, I would love to have colleagues that challenge my ideas so that I can have a different perspective or have the ability to see the same things from different perspective. And as far as handling is concerned, first of all, I would try to understand his perspective, like what picture he is seeing after from the scenario, what intakes he are getting, and what is his view about the whole scene. And then I tell him about my view, like this is your view and that is my view. And if our views are opposing or challenging or different from each other, I will try to see whether it's something like 6 or 9. I am seeing the 6 and he's seeing the 9. Something like that, or something just we have a different opinion. Like for me, burger is good, for him, pizza is good. Something like that, or something other thing. So if it's something that we both can be happy with our choices, I will be happy with my choice and he will be happy with his. But it's something that we both have to agree on, then I would love to go for a factual data or some evidences on which we can prove, or on which we can have a solid proof that that's why he is having that point of view or why I am having that point of view. In those scenarios, I will go look for data and evidences to back up my view. That's over to tabletop master Harish.
Thank you, Sambhav Gupta. That was a pretty good idea which you have shared right now. I really love the empathy which you showed to your colleagues who challenge your ideas. You try to understand their point of view and take into account their views as well before stating your own opinion. This is what we need as a human to evolve. Like, we would need to take others' ideas into consideration as well. There may be some times where we may have a wrong decision and one of our colleague who challenges us may be right. So we need to look at that and analyze our thought pattern and then accept the ideas which they are coming up. You also pointed out that you would start looking at the data and analyze whether both ideas are agreeable or are they against your ideas or they have some other plans. The way you handle this motivates me as well. Thank you. So
Somebody has raised, Kashvi has raised her hand, I think.
Yes.
Gavel or Kashvi Agarwal. So can you pick a number between 1 to 5, excluding 2 and 5?
Please pick up a number quickly, Kashvi.
The number 3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Kashvi Agarwal, can you give me an example of your mood or attitude, either positive or negative, that has impacted your work or your college?
I'm unable to understand the question.
Repeat the question, Harish.
So can you give me an example of your mood, either positive or negative, that has impacted your work either in your college?
Okay. So I will just explain to you, if you have not understood, have you experienced that your mood, good mood or bad mood, it has improved, it has affected or influenced your behavior at school? That's what he's asking.
It has not impacted at school, but at home it has. Actually, I often lose my temper, and I am unable to control myself that time, and it has impacted on, my health, because anger is not really good. I don't really know. I tried.
Thank you. Harish, you can comment.
Yeah, thank you, Kashvi Agarwal. So I really appreciate your take on this question. Anger, like every human being has the quality of anger. I too was a very angry person in my young age. I used to get triggered very easily. But long the run, I understood that this is very problematic for my career as well as my personal relationships. So whenever you become angry, you try to control it. So either you can go outside or you could switch into something else which you find interesting. This could in turn help the mood to lighten up. I used to be a person who would directly react on the spot, but long the run, I learned that this is where I'm making a mistake, because when you react directly, it impacts the person who is arguing with you. To avoid an argument, you would need to step away sometimes, and then accept defeat. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the steps.
Thank you.
Harish, I think we have completed the time for table topics. So you can close it, wrap it up, and then we can have the polls.
Yeah. Congratulations, all the table topic speakers, for this wonderful input I could get from you. I could connect with all the topics which were spoken so far, like the ability to understand others' views, the ability to try to controlling our emotions, good or bad, giving attention to the co-workers and colleagues whenever they are down, and many more things like that. So, can I ask Gavel Kavya Singh to specify whether all the speakers are qualified?
Speaker number 3, Gavel Kashvi Agarwal, has not qualified because she spoke for less than 45 seconds.
Okay. Thank you, Gavel Kavya Singh.
So do we launch?
Toastmaster Girija Deshpande.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can we launch the poll soon?
Yes. So we have got Sudha Wariar and Sambhav Gupta and Kashvi Agarwal, 3 of them. So I just want to seek public opinion because Kashvi Agarwal is a Gavelier and she has spoken for the first time. So do we give her possibility to participate in the poll? Thank you.
Yes,
yes,
Generally
very
evaluator.
much,
So
very
all
much.
3 of them will be there in the poll. So I'll just launch the poll. Remember, it is general evaluator Sudha Wariar, then guest Sambhav Gupta and Kashvi Agarwal who are there. Okay. Yeah. We don't have speaker 4. So vote among the first 3. Request everybody to cast their vote. Vote among the first 3. I request everybody to vote. I've got 13, 14. Okay. Those who are co-hosts cannot vote. So I've got the votes. Yeah. I'll close it now and I'm ending the poll. Right. Okay. We can move on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Harish Natarajan. That was a very engaging session. And I'm sure we saw a lot of empathy there with some participants actually saying so clearly and so innocently that I have not understood the topic. So, all this kind of thing you can see in a Gavel club, that innocence. And if you're able to spot or you can identify with their innocence, that means we have a lot of empathy within ourselves. So we must applaud ourselves for that. Finally, we come to the evaluator session. It is the last session for the evening. I have the privilege to call upon the G for the meeting, Toastmaster Sudha Wariar, to conduct this session. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudha Wariar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Nisha, Sanjeev, for an exhilarating session of brain and heart and making us think about it throughout the meeting. Thank you. So today, my role as a general evaluator is twofold. Like I mentioned in the beginning, that evaluation is the breakfast of the champions, but I like to say that evaluation is also dessert for the brave. Now, who are the brave people here who are ready to listen to some feedback, which might pinch them a little bit for now, but it's going to make them much better the next time they come on the stage. So let us take this feedback session positively, and Toastmasters and Gaveliers gives us a wonderful opportunity to keep giving amazing feedback, constructive feedbacks, and also unbiased and from experienced people so that we all can improve and achieve our goals of why we are here today. So for doing that, my general evaluation session is divided into 2. First, I will be calling upon the evaluators of the prepared speeches to come up with their evaluation of the prepared speakers. And then I would probably also touch upon the areas of improvement, if any, on the general conduct of the meeting. Before that, I would like to, before I get on to the evaluators to come on stage, I would like to call upon the timer to come and give their timing guidelines for the evaluation sessions, please.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sudha Wariar. For the 3 speech evaluations, the timing is 2 to 3 minutes with 30 seconds grace period on either side. At 1 minute green, at 1 minute 30 seconds yellow, and for 2 minutes green, for 2 minutes 30 seconds yellow, and to red at 3 minutes. For the R counter and Grammarian, the timing is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute green, at 1 minute 30 seconds yellow, and at 2 minutes red will be shown. A grace period of 30 seconds is allowed on both ends. For the general evaluators report, 3 to 5 minutes will be allotted. At 3 minutes green, at 4 minutes yellow, and at 5 minutes red with a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
I think we've lost her because I saw that the video was frozen. Is she there?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think we are not seeing the general evaluator. So until she joins, I think I would just request our speech evaluator, the first speech evaluator, Phalgunan Kumaran. You're back. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know. It was a perfect timing for the internet to go off. I'm on hotspot now. So yeah. So to continue, I think the timer has given her timing guidelines. So I would now first want to call upon the first evaluator, Toastmaster Phalgunan, to evaluate Toastmaster Girish Mittal's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan.
Thank you, General Evaluator Sudha. What a fabulous speech we heard today, especially on the technology on which everyone is speaking about, artificial intelligence. It was an informative speech for us, what the speaker presented. Definitely, it has enhanced my knowledge on artificial intelligence. It was a good thing that the speaker invited the audience to share their views and their understanding on the topic. So it's a good way to engage the audience. What the speaker can do differently, especially keeping the speech objectives in mind, which was all about review basic presentation software strategies and using that, how you can create and use the slides to support and enhance the speech. So I found there is a lot of improvement areas here. First of all, at the start, whenever you're using the slides, it needs to be checked how the aspect can be presented and all. There was some delay aspect. Each of the presentations, the usage of PPT, a PowerPoint was chosen as a mode. So in PowerPoint, there is an option of design, by which you can have many design templates which can be used while presenting, and that enhances the visual appeal of the presentation. Here, I observed that the slides may have been picked up from the net, so that does not really help the speaker or the presenter to enhance their own presentation skills. So maybe to get down to understanding the various elements in PowerPoint, if that's going to be used, and then present it, experiment, and really come out with a beautiful speech. There is also a ground rule if you're using a presentation with a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. See that the slides are not more than 3 to 4. Because if you're using it, no way we are going to complete it within that time. And that also gives us enough time to present our ideas and thoughts rather than rushing into the slides. So overall, there was a good attempt made by the presenter. Presentation. I need to empathize. I can understand that the speaker has not really used the PPT or so in the past much, so I can understand. But I felt that I need to really give you frank feedback so that you really improve and develop and come out with a fabulous speech using the presentation software. Thank you, and I wish you all the best for the future. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Phalgunan, for that elaborate evaluation. And I'm definitely confident that Toastmaster Girish will try and imbibe these points which he has mentioned for the next speech, and maybe look at even repeating the speech for your benefit. That's my suggestion. With that, we would like to go over to the next evaluator, Toastmaster Yeshwant, who would be evaluating Toastmaster Girija Deshpande's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Yeshwant.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudha Wariar, and special greetings to Toastmaster Girija Deshpande. Congratulations on completing this project. If it is something that gives sleepless nights to a president or a VP membership, is the spike in membership. Rest all will have a nice lumber, but president and VP membership, thanks for empathizing with these people. And also, let me get into the evaluation. My evaluation will be in CRC method, which is common recommendations, and conclusion. Coming to the commendations part, first, I loved the whole structure, the way you presented the speech. It had 6 parts: what, why, who, where, how, when. Beautifully, you have gone through, you have walked us through all these things. It was easy to follow. And the presentation that you had, a simple single page, it was picture speaks 1,000 words. So it was helping us connect with everything that you say. Kudos on that. Second thing is the logical development in your speech. When you were speaking about the why part, you had the level role players, why we should have more members. You were supporting with that the count 11 role players, that is the minimum that we require, or the variety that they bring it. So you are trying to build consensus with the audience. Kudos on that. When you are explaining the how part, you are telling about the channel and the attitude. So beautifully, you are telling, don't beg to people, you are doing a favor to them. And again, you are trying to build a consensus there, right? And also, when you were asking about who will come, and the audience responded with the curiosity or the growth mindset, people with curiosity levels or the growth mindset. The effort that you have put in to build the consensus was evident that they were responding, resonating with you. And that was a very wonderfully done. And now let's come to the recommendations part. Every speaker has something to develop, and so I have 3 recommendations for you. One is from the delivery point of view. You will have to pace it down a little. Sometimes I felt like you are rushing, and it had 6 parts and each 1 minute, 6 minutes, and you have only 1 minute left for an introduction and conclusion. I know it's a very tough, but then probably you'll have to pace it down. Second thing is the context setting. Immediately you jumped into the more the merrier part. So probably you could have spent a little time in developing the context. You can ask the audience, what is the pain area of a club? They will definitely respond. The burnout that they have, every week they have a meeting, finding a role player, VP education. This is something that every club goes through, and they're already connected to it. So that will help you easily sink into the your presentation, the context setting. And the third one is the conclusion. The more the merrier. I thought like you were looking at the red and suddenly stopped it. Probably I felt the more the merrier, a little more speech of you. If I had heard with a good conclusion, it would have been better. You could have related that to their aspects. The more the people come in the quality, there's a healthy competition in the club, the more their growth will be. So something on that note, and if you have closed it, it would have been a proper dessert at the end of a biryani that you give on the platter. So with this recommendations that the delivery, context setting, and the conclusion, and commendations that the structure and logical development are awesome. If you take care of these recommendations, it will take you to the next level. Over to you, Toastmaster, General Evaluator, sorry.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, detailed evaluation by Toastmaster Yeshwant of a very well-crafted speech by a veteran Toastmaster, Girija Deshpande. So basically, it's all about learning. We are all here to learn and all here to improve. And I think, I'm sure you all have such a great leader who is walking the talk for you and explaining not only the importance of Toastmasters, also educating you on how to get the members to the club, and also completing her speech. So imagine, she's such a great multitasker. So let us all put our hands together and congratulate Toastmaster Girija for doing a wonderful job. So with that, I would now like to call upon the support people system that I depend upon for completing my evaluation. And the first person is the
One
timer.
second, G. We have one more evaluation of by distinguished
Oh,
Toastmaster
yes,
Renosh.
yes. My bad. I didn't know if he would be called here or he's giving a written evaluation. Yes. Sorry about that. My bad. So let me hand over the stage to the third evaluator, who is DTM Renosh Thomas, to evaluate the table topics master. Over to you, Toastmaster Renosh. Thank you for that.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sudha. If I may ask, with your permission, the timer to let me know what is the time taken by the table topic master for each of the 3 table topics for his feedback, just to understand if it was within the time taken allotted.
Are you saying for this the whole table topic session or the people with the table topic?
No, for the table topic master, he's been allotted up to 1 minute for his feedback. So I just want to know whether he was within the time limit.
He was. He had the comment for 2 minutes, and then for the first comment was 2 minutes, and then the response comments were 50 seconds and 50 seconds, and again 1 minute 10 seconds.
Okay. All right.
So
thank you so much.
7 minutes. He consumed about 5.5 minutes.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Girija, for that. And once again, good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and all the guests present out here. 3 minutes evaluation for me is sometimes overwhelming for me to finish off in 3 minutes. I will definitely share out my feedback to Toastmaster Harish separately. But having said that, his objective today was on active listening skills. And basically what I have done is the end result is a well-run table topic session. Now, since this is quite a brain and a heart kind of a scenario, what I've done is I'll put a percentage to that. Okay, and at the end of the result, let us see where he stands at. Now, we had all the 3 topics, which was very intriguing. At the same time, I understand that the responses are more on an emotional intelligence or an empathetic response to most of in fact, all the questions that he put forth to. The first speaker, where we had general evaluators speak about the topic, if you notice that one of your colleagues had a bad day, what would you do? You had the second speaker guest, Sambhav Gupta, whose topic was, how do you handle a colleague who challenges your ideas? And you had the Gavel Kashvi Agrawal, where she got the topic, can you give me an example of your mood, positive or negative, impacting your work? All of this had an empathetic response. First is whether you were a good listener or not. And yes, I had noticed that you listened very carefully. You have taken down notes while they were speaking as well. I noticed that. And you gave your feedback. You gave a response to each and every one of them. So kudos to that. So if you ask me, are you a good listener? I would tick the box. Right? Coming to the second part of it, which was short and affirmative statement. Now, as this was an empathetic response, what I would like to see is one thing you did was, yes, you had given a short feedback to each one of them. And was it affirmative? Yes, it was affirmative as well. There were areas where I would like you to work upon is while you're giving a feedback to the speaker, it is not to relate another speech. And you're talking about that for hardly 30 seconds. I wouldn't look at the time at this moment. It's more to do about your feedback and how you relay your response. So make it very concise. It is not to give that entire TT commit once again or to elaborate that more. It's just to be very concise, very short and affirmative. So a few things over there that you would like to work upon is to make it very short. And since it's empathetic, put a smile on your face as well. That will give a very good feedback to the speaker as well. And the last part of the evaluation was whether it was empathetic. Yes. So a good listener, I tick the box. Short and affirmative, I would give an 85%. If it's an empathetic response, I would give a 90%. Put an average together, your well-run TT session comes to around 92%. So well done, very good. And I'm sure this is the first touch point for you, and you will learn and you will enhance your skills. You're definitely a good listener, an active listener as well. And I've seen in the past. Well done. Looking forward for you to take such roles and to enhance that even better. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Renosh. A wonderful capsulation of a project with one of the sessions which we had today. A very unique, proposition that you gave Toastmaster Harish Natarajan to be evaluated for his listening skills, being a table topics master. Excellent. So kudos to that. Thank you so much. And you also created your own parameters for evaluating them, which is also a wonderful job done. Thank you. And I'm sure Toastmaster Harish is going to take this forward. And I'm sure you're going to be a better listener going forward. Congratulations. With that, I would now like to call upon the timer for giving me the timing report for the evaluators, please.
Speech evaluator, Toastmaster Phalgunan Kumaran, took 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Speech evaluator, Toastmaster Yeshwant Tedapalli, took 3 minutes 49 seconds. Project evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas, took 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
So what do we do now? So we have only one person qualifying. Am I right?
Yeah.
The first evaluator. Now, again, I would like all of you to decide, the senior Toastmasters, whether we should include everyone in the poll or we just go with the person who's qualified for the award.
I think include everyone.
Okay. So then you can conduct the poll.
Okay.
Please. With that, I would like to now call upon the Grammarian to give her report on the word of the day and also how we have fared in the good uses of language. Over to you, Grammarian.
The word of the day was used by Toastmaster Nisha 5 times and by Toastmaster Renosh Thomas 6 times, by Toastmaster Harish Natarajan 2 times, by Toastmaster Phalgunan 1 time, and by Toastmaster Yeshwant 1 time. There were lots of good usages of this word, though I would want you to tell it in more complex sentences and use it in a much more advanced way.
Okay, thank you so much, Grammarian, for that wonderful report. By the way, I'm also guilty of using word of the day. Thank you. I did justice to you, Grammarian. Okay, with that, I would like to call upon the R counter, who is responsible for tracking the uses of verbal pauses, R's and ums, and also give us a proper report on who did it so many times. I'm 100% sure I'm on the list. Over to you, R counter.
Yeah. Toastmaster Harish used 9 times, so 8 times, and has repeated 3 times. Toastmaster Nisha Sanjeev has used 3 times and has repeated 1 time and has used all of these twice. Gavel and timer Kavya Singh has used 2 times, and Grammarian Gavel Anika Kohli has used 2 times. Toastmaster Girish Mittal has used 4 times. Toastmaster Girija Deshpande has used 2 times, so once. has repeated 2 times and has used once. Toastmaster Renosh Thomas has used uh, once and has repeated once and has used now unnecessarily twice. A guest, Sambhav Gupta, has used twice, so once, and has repeated 1 time. Gavlier Kashi Agarwal has repeated once and has used once. The Toastmaster Phalgunan has used once and has used first of all twice unnecessarily. Toastmaster Yeshwant has used 6 times and unnecessarily once, and used right and used so once, and has also used well once. Generally, later Toastmasters Sudha Wariar has used 15 times and has repeated 1 time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. I really appreciate it. With that, I would like to now go upon the remaining proceedings of the general evaluator's role. And for lack of time, I will try and make it as crispy as possible. The time that we started the meeting, yes, we were 5 minutes late, and maybe I'm also one of the person who's responsible. I was trying to log in from the laptop. Otherwise, we started it at 9:05. 5 minutes late. We can improve, but I think that is fine. Okay, sometimes it does happen. We started with the meeting setup. If I'm going to rank that, we had a wonderful background which was shared. I think I was late to probably join in. I didn't get the advantage of having the screen of the heart and the mind balance. And also, I didn't know that it's a brain day. So thank you so much for educating us about the fact that today is the brain day, Toastmaster of the day. The opening of the meeting was done beautifully by the SAR. And I think there is a slight variation from the normal Toastmaster format, where we call the general evaluator to actually read the role of the meeting in the beginning. So I was new to that. Generally, we call them at the time when we have the evaluation session to start. But yes, as I told you, I'm a student for life. I'm ever ready to learn from you bright young people out here. So that was a variation which I did notice. Apart from that, we got onto the presiding officer, who was a wonderful, charming guy. And I felt that the SAR was so excited and so in awe of the presiding officer. I could see that, he was waiting to talk about the achievements of the presiding officer. So I'm sure, Gavel, Aditya, you have done very well on your leadership role. And I'm sure you are already on your journey to inspire people in the club. So that was a fantastic presiding officer's address by Gavelier's Aditya. With that, he, of course, introduced me, and then, of course, the Toastmaster introduced the Toastmaster of the day, and then the Toastmaster of the day also introduced me to read out the objectives. The Toastmaster of the day, I mean, she was amazing, on the ball in terms of what she has to achieve. She was charming. She had prepared herself very well. She was here to educate, elevate, and also entertain in some manner. So I loved it. I think that's the role of a Toastmaster of the day, to be able to take that responsibility, to take the meeting to a different level with your preparation and with your interaction with the members. And I think you did a wonderful job in that. You had your questions ready. And in fact, there were many table topics, like I mentioned. But yes, it was a good insight for us to understand how do we react to certain situations, and how do we really manage this monkey called a brain and this heart, which is always needs an attention. So I think you did a wonderful job on that, and also collaborated very well with the role player introduction, as well as the job of also integrating the table topics master, and also reminding me that I actually forgot to bring the evaluator on the stage, but that's also because you were attentive. Sometimes what happens when you take off the stage, that's kind of a break as a Toastmaster of the day, because you're speaking all the time. So, you know, when you take a break and somebody else is taking the stage, it's kind of a, you know, you kind of switch off at least for a few minutes. But I think you were still there. You were noticing what's happening because you were the master of ceremonies. You knew that you had to hold the meeting tight together. So wonderful job on that. As far as the role players are concerned, the tag role players, I love the grammarian, the timer and the hour counter. Enthusiastic as always. I felt that I wanted to see the timer's face, but the timer had only the screen to show me. I wish you could have logged in with another device. Probably we could have also seen your beautiful face. So that is a small suggestion, which I hope you can incorporate. And then we come to the grammarian. The grammarian had given a wonderful word of the day, which is empathy. And she explained what is empathy. So there is one suggestion. Maybe you can show a screen with what empathy means. You know, there is a way that Grammarly or even Google gives you the meaning of the word, the noun, the usage. You know, that screen which you could have shared with the members when you're introducing the word of the day. So that is visual, people remember it, and they know how to probably employ it in their speeches or whenever they come to be a part of the stage. Okay. Don't keep showing me the screen. It looks like I never had a timer for a general evaluation. Girija, when is this happening? Anyway, we now go to the hour counter, and the hour counter also did a wonderful job of reading all the R's and ums. But now this is another suggestion which I would like to give. Do a spreadsheet. There's an hour counter sheet which we have. Maybe you can use that and keep recording it and show it at the end of the, when you're called upon the stage, so that there's not too much of reading and we're just trying to listen to you. So again, if you have a visual, you don't need to talk too much. So that's on the tag role player. As far as the speeches were concerned, it was great. I think there's nothing more that I would like to say, because evaluators have done a wonderful job on giving feedback. As far as the table topics master is concerned, I did have some observations which I would like to share apart from what the evaluator has already done. Yes, I think that you should probably keep your topics short. Generally, what happens is people cannot remember a lot when otherwise you have to repeat it or you have to explain it. Try to give captions. Again, use visuals. If you can use a PPT where, you know, you did show it, but the questions were very long for people to read. So try and use, like, you know, maybe 5-6 words in a sentence, if possible, or even you can use visuals for them to probably talk about. That's another way to do a table topics. But yeah, I mean, that is one. The other thing you said when I was younger, so I take objection to that. If you're going to be telling about your younger, I mean, imagine all of us here, like Phalgunan, Girija, Renosh, and all of us. I don't know what we are going to be talking, but I'm still young. I'm 25. Okay. Apart from that, there were too much of feedback being given from your side on the table topics, which was the table topics by the speakers. That generally is not required in a table topic session. What generally we do is, yes, you can capsulate whatever they have said in one sentence, but giving a feedback to them is getting a little bit too much into the time. And obviously that's really not the role of a table topics master. But yes, I think you may have been confused with trying to show your listening skills on your project. So maybe that's what I gather, that you would have probably elaborated that a little bit more. Apart from that, I think a wonderful speech, wonderful meeting. I think I don't have anything much to say. I enjoyed being here, seeing all of you so energetic, taking this on. The adults also were absolutely to the mark today. They were very well behaved, maybe because they were in an atmosphere that children were performing. So we had to be really, doing well here. So I think all of us enjoyed being here, and we really wish you all the best to take your goals to greater heights. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. That was so enriching to hear such kind of feedback on precisely every part of the meeting. Really, really nice. And I think the evaluation session was really the whole, it just brought out the whole this of the meeting. So can we have the polls? And I also like the way you just damned the time and you went about with your feedback. So nice to see that spirit. Can we now have the polls for all the remaining that we
Actually, I didn't know that there is going to be a timing for GE. So that's the way our Toastmasters don't have a timing, right, Phalgunan? Girija, we don't have, we would probably, I remember there are people like Babu and all who go a little bit beyond the skill. So those people, I put a screen for them to stop. But generally, we don't have a timing for the evaluation.
No, there is a timing. Normally 5 minutes is there for GE. Yeah. Unless
generally follow the agenda. That's the usual way.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Yeah. So in the agenda, I've given 3 to 5 minutes, and there is 3 green and yellow, and 4 yellow and red. But that is given.
Like I said, that children are trying to make us better today, because when we have Toastmaster sessions, we probably take the liberty of getting here and there with the timing. But I think the children are really making me conscious of it. So thank you so much for it.
And for the table topic session, it is specified that he should use 5 to 7 minutes. That is why he had to do that. And he still maintained it at 5.5 minutes so that the comments don't become too long. In the listening skills,
what I was trying to say is the role of a table topics doesn't need to. Of course, that was more to do with
the project says it's a listening skill project, and you have to be a table topic master, and the total comment should be between 5 to 7 minutes. So that is why introduction.
So I didn't get the project guidelines or whatever the evaluation.
Yes, understood. Yes, yeah. It was Renosh Thomas read it, so I thought probably I could have send it separately to you. Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, so I have the first poll is already done, so I'm just completing the poll and moving on. Okay, that is first poll was for the evaluator. Now for the auxiliary roles, I'm launching it. So please, all of you, cast your votes. The first is, there is no timer, Sushant Kumar. So please, I will just go back and relaunch it again. It's only Kavya Singh. There is no Sushant Kumar. Kavya Singh and our counter and Anika Kohli. Sushant Kumar is not there. So I will include that vote also here because timer is only one person. Yes. Okay, it's hung. Please, more votes, please. It's hung. There is a tie there. Otherwise, we'll give 2 people. That's it. All of them get it. Fine. Okay. All of them have got equal votes. There are 15 votes, and all of them have got 5-5, which is surprising. Okay. Now, for the primary roles, I'm launching it. I'm not able to launch it, some technical problem. So I would request you all to put it on the chat to me separately. It is Toastmaster of the Day, Nisha Sanjeev, Table Topics Master, Harish Natarajan, General Evaluator, Sudha Wariar. 3 of them. So please launch a poll. I will.
Yeah, well, they can sit here.
Yeah. I'm not able to launch the poll for some reason. Like all other polls, I had set it up. Okay. So I'm looking forward to your replies. Yeah. Okay. More replies, please. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The more the merrier.
Yes, the more the merrier. Absolutely, you said it. You said it. Yes. So we have completed the polls, and I will just you go ahead, Nisha. Can go ahead with it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you till we get
Can
the
wind
poll
up.
results.
Yeah.
So I think thank you for having me as the Toastmaster for the day. We've come to the end of the meeting. And while we have the poll results, we'll come to that in a moment. But I've had a very, very enriching experience today with all the role holders and all the speakers, the wonderful evaluators, and everybody who has contributed to this meeting. It was my first time as a TMoD in this club, but it was really very, very fulfilling. As a parting thought, I would just want to leave you with few things, few takeaways on this topic of emotional quotient that we touched upon today. While they say that, EQ comes very natural into certain people, for some people it's not very natural, but it's something which we can develop over time. And few takeaways that I'll give you, which you can just remember and you can just imbibe into yourself, into your everyday life. Here they go. Try to stay calm under pressure. Try to not get too defensive when criticized. Try to handle setbacks positively. Manage your stress and anxiety. Maintain a sense of humor, very important. Try to see things from others' perspective. Recognize how your behavior may impact others. Listen without jumping to conclusions or judgments. And lastly, but most importantly, stay positive. I think it just sums up the whole thing about EQ and why it is so very important in our lives, why it is important for us to be successful persons, successful leaders in future, how it can not just improve our well-being, but also people with whom we interact. So kudos and hail to higher EQs to all of us. Thank you. I will hand over to the presiding officer, Gavel, Aditya Verlekar, who can take over the polls and give away the results as well. Thank you.
I think Dr. Sukanya is going to do it, right?
Okay, Dr.
Yes.
Sukanya has joined.
Sukanya will
Okay.
do it. Yes. She's the president of the, yeah. Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's
Hello.
indeed, it was a pleasure to hear you all, though I'm in transit from Mumbai to Pune. Pardon me for that. And as I was listening to everyone, indeed, it was very, very, knowledge sharing. And myself also, got to know a lot of insights, very insightful. On that note, it was indeed a pleasure to participate in a Toastmasters meeting. It feels like, being part of orchestra where different musicians are creating a symphony. To the master tune players, which goes to the awards, the special invitees are recognized today are General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Sudha Wariar, Speech Evaluator Phalgunan Kumaran, Speech Evaluator Yeshwant Tedapalli, Project Evaluator Distinguished Toastmaster Renosh Thomas. Now I think the best prepared speaker award of the day, I think.
The best table topic speaker award goes to General Evaluator Sudha Wariar.
I think our table topic speech goes to Sudha Wariar. Huge congratulations. And the best speech evaluation of the day goes to Renosh Thomas. Huge congratulations to you all for this accomplishment. The best auxiliary role as Grammarian goes to...
Got it. Equal votes.
Yeah, Ramit R. as our counter. The best auxiliary role as timer, Kavya Singh. Excellent. Congratulations. The best primary role as Toastmaster of the day goes to Nisha Sanjeev. Huge congratulations, kudos, a big pat to you all. Speech Evaluator, the award goes to Renosh Thomas.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, Toastmasters, Gaveliers, and the guest. And as I always end, I always say, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So it goes for the more for the Gaveliers, and you're all the future of the nation. And to all the Toastmasters, on my behalf, a very good night to one and all of you. Thank you so much. Good night to one and all.
And you adjourned the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hope I
All
was
the
able to
best,
do anything.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Please,
Good night.
let's wait for a
Namaskar.
group photograph. We'll take a group photograph.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would request everybody to put a reaction, maybe heart or something. So we'll do that. Thank you so much. Yes, I look for, just please wait. I request everybody to put on your cameras.
I hope you're able to see me.
Yes, yes, I'm able to see you. Yes. One more. Just one more, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, one and all.
Post, but I would like to stay back, some of you, and give me your feedback. Anything more you want to share? I think the guest is not there anymore. There were some people who had not put on the video on. So I would just like
Can I leave? Can I
yes,
take
yes,
leave?
yes. I know you're traveling.
Thank you so much
for joining in spite of that. Yes.
Can I also leave? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. Thank you so much for joining. And it was a wonderful contribution. Amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Looking forward to more. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeshwant, thank you so much for joining. Phalgunan, thanks a lot for joining. Of course, Renosh, I don't know what I'll do without your support. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having all of you. Yes. Any feedback, any more feedback anybody would like to share? Anything about your own experience? You want anything improved, better? Was it all okay? Yeah. Thank you. If you have any feedback you forgot to mention or you don't want to mention in a group, you can write to me. I'm always open to improvement. I want to see that the quality of the meetings is best, that the experience is, something that is remarkable, and you go back with fond memories. Thank you so much. Yes, Renosh, want to say something?
Probably because you're still recording. People don't want to say their feedback when this is recorded.
Yeah. Okay. I will close the recording. I didn't even realize that. Yes.